Huge congratulations to everybody who passed the bar exam this year. I know you put in the work. I know you had the late nights. I know you had time away from family. I know you doubted yourself, but you're here now. And if you didn't pass the bar this year, I didn't pass my first time either. It's not the end of the world. There's other things out there to do, and you can always take the bar exam again. I thought I'd make this quick video just to give you a few tips that I picked up along the way about how to be successful in a law firm environment and hopefully how to have a happy life as an attorney. All right, so my name is Zechariah Etheridge. I've spent about 2.5 years at a big law firm. I worked at K&O Gates here in downtown Raleigh as my first job out of law school. And then I transitioned to a smaller firm where I worked as a plaintiff's attorney for a year doing commercial litigation, some civil disputes for individuals, and now I have my own practice. But over the years, I picked up a few strategies that I think would be really helpful for a new attorney who's in their first year. So without further ado, we'll jump in. I know a lot of you folks are going to work at regional and big law firms, and it's a little scary, and you have a lot of things happening around you. You don't quite know what to do. You don't know how to feel. Hopefully this orients you a little bit. So step one, whether you're at a firm or you're looking for a job, spend time. You're so fresh in your career. Spend time interviewing attorneys who you think seem happy, seem fulfilled. Those are going to be great people to learn from. It might, for example, it might look sexy and fun to be a class action attorney, somebody who sues mega corporations for a wrong affecting hundreds of thousands of people. Spend time talking to somebody who does that work. If they seem fulfilled and they seem happy and they talk to you about what a day in their life looks like, go for it. But don't make that decision based off of suits or based off of a video you saw on YouTube from somebody who's trying to make it look glamorous and trying to make you excited, right? Because they want your attention, they want your likes, right? Spend time talking to 2 or 3 people who do something that you enjoy. Another example could be M&A, right? Helping companies acquire or merge with other companies. When you talk about that to your friends and family, it sounds really grand and it's a really noble career path. I have a lot of respect for attorneys who do it. You've got to be a certain type of attorney who really enjoys that type of thing, because you're going to spend long hours on the phone taking notes. You're going to spend a lot of time pouring through documents. After 4 or 5 years, you might find it a bit repetitive. Every deal is different. And by the way, the same thing can be true for litigation attorneys. But my point is, you should spend time with people who are actually doing the thing you want to do. Once you get 2-3 years into your practice, because of the nature of how specialized the legal field has become, it's very hard to transition towards something else without taking a significant pay cut, I'll say. So reality does not always meet your expectations. So do the best you can to marry reality to a realistic expectation of what you can expect in that practice area. Forgive me for the word salad, but hopefully you guys know where I'm trying to go with it. So number 2, if you are at a law firm environment, spend time getting to know the people in your practice area and outside of your practice area, and don't neglect the support staff. You're going to feel a lot more comfortable asking silly questions if you have a somewhat real relationship with the people who you're working alongside. If the only time you talk to somebody down the hall is when you need something, you're gonna feel a lot more anxiety. You're gonna feel like your relationship's a lot more transactional than if you take them out to coffee or if you set up a lunch and you just ask them about their life, their kids, how long they've been doing what they do outside of work, that type of thing. It doesn't have to be super deep, and don't forget you have a business relationship with this person unless, you guys become friends or something like that, right? But spend time getting to know people in the first couple of months. You don't need to try to bill 9 hours your first day. That's unrealistic. You're going to do a lot of onboarding stuff. I would really say spend your first few weeks, your first few months, getting to know the people you're working with. And related to this second point, I really want to underscore, for number 3, how important it is to really exalt and be appreciative of your support staff. So that's your paralegal, your legal assistant, the office manager, the folks who work in the mailroom. All of those people empower your firm to run efficiently and allow you to do your job without having to think about those things. As somebody who has their own practice now, I'm in charge of communications, getting back to people, my own filings, all the administrative things that you might take for granted after you've been working for 2 or 3 years. If you don't have your support staff, guess who's going to be responsible for that? It's going to be you, the attorney, right? And this is not as much of an issue as it used to be, but in the legal profession, there has sometimes been an elitism around being an attorney and supporting an attorney, where attorneys will not treat their support staff with the respect that they deserve. I know, crazy. But it has been like that, and for a lot of people, it still is like that. But you can break that chain. First attorney, you can start being very friendly with your support staff and show them that they're valued. And by the way, this is not to knock people who have been respecting and being really appreciative of their support staff for the last 30 years. I'm just trying to remind folks that that's a very important part of being successful in a law firm environment. I'll give you a quick example. One night, I was working on a receivership at my previous firm, and we had to get out some filings because a notice of a sale had to be disseminated to all of the creditors and notice parties. And somehow we had let the deadline kind of sneak up on us just a little bit. So I'm there with my paralegal and my legal assistant at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, printing out documents, thousands of papers. We're putting them into binders. We're working with our mailroom guy who's helping us get labels made, and we've got to get all this stuff sent out like that night, right? So it's ready to go out first thing in the morning. And to the credit of someone I was working with, it was a partner. They were actually there with me, but this gentleman's exceptional. He did not have to be there with me. He spent 10 years, pulling all-nighters and staying up until 9 and 10 at night, long before I came to work at that firm. So this partner was indeed there. But most partners, here's my point, most partners are not going to be with you at 9 and 10 at night. It's going to be your support staff, okay? So they are just going to be your right-hand man or woman, and you should treat them with the same respect you're going to treat any other attorney in your firm. And as a quick bonus, just because I know folks are oftentimes very interested in in-house roles, right? They want to work for a Mercedes or a fashion house or some large electrical engineering firm or something like that, because they envision the 30-hour work weeks and not having to bill time and all that good stuff, right? Which may or may not be true. But fact of the matter is, people really like those roles. So if you're interested in that, I would just say put in 2 years at a firm where you're going to learn to practice law. An in-house position is not really going to be available to a first-year attorney. It might be available to a second year, but depending on the role and what they're asking you to do, they really want 5, sometimes 10 years of experience. And you're also going to need an in. You can apply on LinkedIn, Indeed, sure. People get roles that way. But everybody I know who's gotten an in-house role has gotten it from a client contact at their firm, or somebody they met at a networking event, or a friend of theirs who they knew in law school who's able to get them in the door. This business is all about connections, and even more so than law firm roles, I would say in-house roles are extremely competitive. But you're going to be tasked with a lot more responsibility. You're going to have to make a lot more independent decisions if you work in-house at a company, and because of that, they want you to have a really strong legal foundation, which you'll get working at a firm. So if that's your goal, network, do really high quality work, take on a lot of interesting assignments, kind of become a jack of all trades. If you want to be general counsel and be responsible for a lot of different areas of law, if you want to do something more specialized, like technology contracts, then it would be great for you to be in the technology or commercial contracts division at your firm, right? Really push for that, because at a firm, they're going to put you where they need you, and that may or may not align with your future goals. But back to what I said earlier, this is a very specialized field now, being a law practitioner, and you really need to have a lane that you're really good at, because there's so much to learn in it. And when you look around on job boards, they're going to say things like, we'll stay with the commercial and technology contracts, looking for somebody with 8 years experience doing software as a service contracts, specifically in the agricultural, bioengineering field or something like that. And you might think, who the heck has this specified experience? But that's what they ask, right? So, don't shoot the messenger. That's just what I'm seeing. So you have to have some grit, be patient, hang in there, advocate for work that's going to align with where you want to be in the future, and you'll be. That's all I got for you. Thanks a lot for checking me out. And if you have any questions, law students or otherwise, feel free to drop me a comment or shoot me a message. I try to get back to folks within 4 to 8 hours. I really enjoy working with law students and talking with them and giving them advice and things like that. So don't be shy. I'm an open book. All right. Congratulations again. Take care.